Hey Blue Table fans, it's time for a short War Machine tutorial, but before we get into that, the question is always, well, what do I need to get to play this game? And to play War Machine, just as a starter, you're going to want to get a Warcaster, 2 or 3 Warjacks. You can get those in a basic box, and yes, this is a collection here, and then 1 unit of guys, and that's going to set you back, assuming, you know, a relatively reasonable discount, it's going to set you back between $80 and $140. Now, the Army books, the War Machine Prime, this retails for $29.99, and you'll probably want to get one of these absolutely gorgeous Army books. Those are $34.99 and worth every single penny, and they smell good too. Alright, so I've got Chandra here, and she is going to help me show how to play the game. So we're going to do movement first. Each time a unit, like a Warjack here, activates, it can do a move, and then it can do something. That's typically the way of it. So the Griffin has a speed, SPD, on his sheet of 6. That's actually pretty good. The Reckoner here, which is one of my favorite Menoth Warjacks, has a speed of 5. And so the Griffin could advance and then say shoot. Of course, it doesn't have a shooting attack that I know of. So that would probably be a bad move because the Reckoner is going to come up and just pound me. But let's assume that's what I do. So now let's say it's Chandra's turn. So the Reckoner can advance and then do an attack. Now, there's a couple different ways to do movement. You've got what's called an advance, which is you just move, and that's your basic speed. Now, in War Machine, you're allowed to just walk up to somebody and hit them. You don't have to make some special order or charge in or, you know, wait for a certain phase to go do it. You have a 1/2 inch bubble to your front arc that is your range. So melee weapons actually have a range in this game. They have a range of 1/2 inch. Some weapons have a reach. For example, the Reckoner's halberd does not have reach. Oh no, yeah, it has reach. So that means the Reckoner actually has a bubble in front of him, only to the front now, that's 2 inches around. And if you're inside, let's say the Reckoner were here and tried to move out, I could get a free strike because it was leaving my reach. So you can't just walk off with impunity. Anyway, movement. So that's an advance. You can do what's called a charge, which is you move your speed plus 3 inches. So my speed is 6, so I would go 9 inches. So a charge would bring me into range. Let's pretend I wasn't dumb and I did that. Chandra's like, am I going to get to do something? Yes, you're going to get to learn. Okay, now let's do an attack. So what you do is every model has what's called a melee attack stat, which is abbreviated MAT. And 4 would be low, 8 would be high. My MAT is 6. So that's actually pretty good. So I'm trying to hit her defense, DEF, that's like how good she dodges. So what's your defense?
10.
Is 10. So what I do is I take 2 dice, I add 6, and I try and get a 10 or better. Okay, so I got it. So basically I just need a 4 plus on a 2d6. So the Reckoner doesn't dodge very well. So that's a hit. Then what I do is I look at the damage of the weapon. You can't see it very well in the video, but just to get a feel for it, damage is 13. So now what I do is in the same process, I take 13, I add dice. Oh, by the way, for damage, 9 is really low, 18 is really high. That's kind of the range of it. So my damage is 13, so I take 2 dice, I add 13. 7 plus 13 is 20. And then we look at her armor, which is 19. So you subtract the armor off. So I did 1 point of damage.
Okay.
That's how you do damage. So we won't get into how to, you know, figure out where the attack hits and whatnot. because warjacks have different systems, and you can actually disable, like, you can have your right arm disabled. You can have their cortex, which is their artificial brain, disabled. Yep, they don't miss it that much, though. Okay, so Chandra, why don't you attack me now?
Okay.
So you'd say, Sean, what's your defense?
Sean, what's your defense?
My defense is 12.
Okay, my melee attack is 6,
Yep.
so I need at least a 6 or higher.
That's the one.
Okay.
So she rolls.
And
There's
I got
a 9.
it.
That's a hit. So now you roll your damage. So you look down here to your melee. See, it has a little sword on it.
Yeah.
If it's a gun, it means it's a ranged attack. So your
mine's
damage is 17. So
Plus
she
2d6.
rolls 2d6. This is the basics of it.
5
Plus 17.
plus 17 is
22.
22.
So do you see how she
Your
does so much more damage?
Armor is 16, so you would have gotten 6 damage.
That's right. So the Reckoner has heavy armor, hits hard, but has pretty low defense, which would be good for other types of attacks that didn't necessarily just want to do damage. So that's it. Oh wait, I wanted to cover movement. So you can advance, that's your speed. So advancing the Griffin would be 6 inches. Or I can run, which is double movement. So I could run 12. Or you can charge, which is your movement plus 3. So that would be 9 inches. Like that.
What are the total hit points?
That's these boxes down here. So my guy has 6, 12 plus 8 is 20. 20 points of damage that it can take before being completely a wreck. And your guy has like 30. So in terms of damage on warjacks, that's pretty much the low and high of it. A light warjack has probably 15 to 20. So a grunt trooper has 1. A heavy trooper, like an elite guy, has 5 damage points. A warcaster usually has between 15 and 20. And warjacks typically will have 15 for the lightest of them, usually 20 to 30 points. So there you go. All right, well, hope you enjoyed, learned something. I'm hoping to get a little excitement going about War Machine. It's really, really a great game. Great figs, great company. They've been around for, I think, 12 years or more now. Absolutely lavish products. Really, really, really nice. And relatively less expensive to get into. You can definitely play the game and have a really good time with just, 15 to 30 figures. So, I'm stoked. I can't wait to play more. I'm roping Chandra in.